So I wanted to talk about unrealistic expectations. And this isn't for clients or brides, this is off of you. So are you a newbie? Are you a new bridal stylist? Are you a stylist wanting to learn bridal hair? And are you trying to create really intricate advanced hairstyles? Now, when I started, I can remember, I'm going back about 12 years ago when I started doing bridal hair. I've been hairdressing for 30 years. So I was a skilled hairstylist, but bridal was a completely different ball game. And I really did not want to do a bride, would turn a bride away, panic setting, didn't know how to style, didn't know how to do an updo, just didn't have that level of confidence, but just decided I was ready for a change. So I'd purchased a book from Patrick Cameron and his step-by-step guide. Back then we didn't have tutorials like we have nowadays. We didn't have TikTok, we didn't have tutorials on Instagram. We had YouTube, but it was very limited. We had no online platforms back then, so it was a lot harder than what it is now. And so I had this book, and there was one hairstyle I was absolutely inspired by, and I was like, oh my, I want to create that hairstyle. And I had a dolly head, I had the book, and I had all these high hopes that I was going to create the exact hairstyle that he created. When I tried to recreate, it just didn't look anything like Patrick Cameron's version. And back then I felt really frustrated, really angry at myself, felt that I was rubbish, I was no good, I chucked my comb on the floor, and I felt like a bit of a failure, to be honest. And the funny thing is, fast forward so many years now, I look back to that one time and I remember that so vividly in my mind. And I look back and I'm like, I wasn't at that level. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. I wasn't at that level. I was a beginner. I should have been learning the basics. I should have been learning how to prep the hair, what products I should be using, curling techniques, how to curl the hair, all the basics. But there was me, no, wanting to jump full in, doing the most intricate hairstyle I'd seen, because I thought, oh, I'm just going to follow his step-by-step guide. And this is the message I wanted to get across to you, okay? If you're a beginner, if you're a newbie, you need to be starting with the basics first, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to overwhelm yourself, you're going to become frustrated, and then you're going to be disappointed because you think, why can't I do it? But bridal hair is an art. It takes time, it takes years and years of practice. I've been doing bridal like 11 years now, and I still practice every week. I go on courses every year, and the only reason my skills are as good as they are is because of the time and energy I put into practicing my skills, perfecting my skills, and keeping up on trends. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like, as a beginner, if you can't create an advanced style, there's a reason why. It's because you're not at that stage yet. Okay, so when you see these tutorials online, they're made to look really simple, really easy. What you have to remember, that is just a short, quick tutorial you've seen, and I may make that look easy, but what you've got to remember, I've spent hours preparing, planning, trying out hairstyles before I put that tutorial up. Okay, so sometimes I think tutorials can seem misleading because you think, oh, it looks really easy. But when you actually come to do it, then you realise, actually, this isn't as easy as I thought. Okay, so that's what I have launched with my training platform. I'm trying to show you easy steps, easy step-by-step tutorials. So you start at the bottom and you work your way up. So like, I launched a braiding course a year ago called Boho Braid Mastery, and the whole course has 16 tutorials, and it starts with a 3-strand braid. So you have a 3-strand braid, a French braid, and then a micro braid. Now when you've done those 3, you move on to a Dutch tail braid, and then when you've mastered the Dutch tail braid, you move on to a fishtail braid, and you basically work your way through the course, but you don't move on to that next braid until you've mastered the basic braid. Because if you was going to go onto that course and go straight onto an infinity braid or a pull through braid, you're not going to do it, you're not going to get it, okay, because you haven't learned the basic braids. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have to take baby steps, learn one thing at a time. And then what happens is you remove the overwhelm, you don't feel frustrated, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's all starting to fall in place. Okay, and that's the way I want to teach you, is an easier way by doing it step by step. And like I say, when you do it step by step, that you remove that overwhelm, but you actually feel confident because you feel like, oh, I've done that. Oh, now I can do this. Okay, so it's like anything. You can't run before you walk. You've got to start at the bottom and work your way up that ladder. Okay, so I wanted to share this with you today because I know a lot of tutorials can be made to look really easy, but a lot of my training, my education, my tutorials are easy to understand, easy to follow. And that's why I felt like I know how that felt back then when I felt frustrated. Back then, like I say, we never had TikTok, Instagram, we never had those tutorials. I never had like a mentor, a coach. I had no one for support and guidance. And I just want to make it easier for you so you can join my subscription group. You'll get guidance and support. So say you do a tutorial and you get halfway through it and you're stuck and you can't work out where you've gone wrong and you can't correct yourself because there's no one to ask. So my guidance and support gives you that support. So I can say, actually, you need to do this. This is what you need to change. And then I also have a feedback Friday where you share your images each Friday, and I will tell you, maybe if you've made a mistake or something's gone wrong, I'll go, oh, you needed to do this. And one thing you need to learn is you will only progress if you learn by your mistakes. Okay, so we're all going to make mistakes. So we need to learn where we go wrong, and then we can move forward and progress. So just want to share that with you today.